Scott, we are here tonight. We are celebrating the incredible editor, Pamela Martin. What is the secret? You know, when you're putting a movie together, your first call is always to Pamela. Like, what is the secret to that? Why is she your go-to?
Because Pam finds the emotional spine of the movie. She finds the movie's heartbeat, and she finds the movie's soul. And that's a lot of work that's done before I arrive in the cutting room. And when you have someone who's as good as Pam, you see the movie not as you normally would, which is an assembly, but you see a version of the movie that you think, that's what I shot. Because she's cutting it while I'm shooting in a way that makes the most sense. And it's just such a remarkable experience because she's so good.
And it is such an honor to celebrate your career, especially this collaboration with Scott that goes back. What is the secret to your collaboration? What is it that you love about working with him, especially in a movie like Springsteen, Deliver Me From Nowhere?
Well, I think I think we got a head start on things because he asked me to do the movie many months before it started. So we were talking script for a long time, probably 5 months before the film even started, principal photography. And and then I'm a speed editor during production. So I'm constantly showing him stuff during production because I want him to see how the movie's coming together, what's working or not working, and also just to make sure we're on the same page.
Yeah, and I'll text her and say, what haven't I gotten that you need? Right,
yeah.
Those sort of things.
Well, but this was crazy because I've been doing this for, 35 years or something, and this was the only movie I've ever done that I had nothing on the pickup list. Wow. The shooting was incredible. The shot planning was incredible. I mean, it was there was so much, he doesn't shoot a lot of takes. He shoots like a filmmaker, like a real filmmaker on film. Nowadays, a lot of people get digital cameras and they just kind of go crazy shooting everything in sight, but Scott's super focused and he plans really well with Masa, his incredible cinematographer, and so I wasn't getting a ton of takes, but I was getting everything I needed to tell the story. And I'll talk about this tonight, but like Scott, I feel like what really works is that we have a very similar work ethic and a similar level of scrutiny of the material, which is quite rare to find.
Pam brings an amount of rigor to literally every scene that, as a filmmaker, you appreciate so deeply, because you know that before you've arrived, Pam has cut it countless different ways. She's thought about everything, and also what's great is that if you come up with an idea, Pam's like, let's try it. As opposed to, nah, I don't think that's going to work. We're always exploring.
Yeah.
And she's so incredibly fast and incredibly sharp when it comes to how she cuts. And she cuts for behavior. She cuts for silence. She cuts for emotion. I mean, it truly is the heartbeat of the film, and I owe it all to Pam.
Speaking about cutting for emotion, every scene with the young Springsteen, played incredibly by Matthew, was so powerful to watch because he doesn't have much to say. Like, it's all in that emotion. But I'm curious, I know you always get asked, like, what is the most challenging scene to cut? I'm going to ask you, what was your favorite scene to cut and collaborate on with Scott?
My favorite scene is when Bruce writes Mansion on the Hill.
Such a beautiful moment.
Because, it structurally it's falling a little bit, slightly in a different way in the movie than what was scripted, but it happens right after he finally records his first song, Nebraska, and it really catapults his creative journey, and it's sort of the blossoming of the creative process, which I think this movie that's a huge part of what this movie is about, is how we channel our own stuff from our lives into our creative work. You do it, I do it, Bruce Springsteen did it, and so I feel like that scene really encapsulates that
so
perfectly.
Cut. I would also add one of my favorites is a montage towards the end of the movie of My Father's House, which is this crossfade of memory and music and myth, and a young man who's trying to, both Matthew and Jeremy White, trying to connect with a father. And it's so incredibly emotional. and could easily be overly sentimental. But Pam finds just the right amount of emotion, and I think it's just, I mean, every time I see it, and I've seen it now probably, 500,000 times, it still moves me.
I love that scene too.
Yeah.
Incredible. Well, congratulations. I'm so glad we get to honor you tonight. Thank you for being here. Thank you so much.
Thanks to Pam.